Lucy defined a generation. From 1951 to 1957, it reigned as the most popular television show in America, playing a significant role in American culture. The show was wacky, sharp-witted, and laugh-out-loud funny, making it an instant classic in the earlier days of sitcom TV. While the show was successful for a number of reasons, many accredited its lasting impact to its creator and star Lucille Ball. Born on August 6, 1911, Ball is said to have been bit by the performance bug at a young age. In 1925, at the age of 14, Lucille enrolled in the John Murray Anderson School for Dramatic Arts. After receiving her formal training in physical comedy and performance art, at 22, she moved to Hollywood, California to pursue a career in the field. From 1933 to 1947, Lucy found moderate success in the movie industry through a steady flow of work in films dubbed B-movies, mainstream, but not A-listed. Though Lucy was able to keep her career afloat with these roles, she had only reached fame on a vaguely recognizable level. She had earned the reputation of that actress you recognize from something, somewhere, a far cry from the household name she has since become. Lucille Ball's career took a sharp turn in 1947 when she accepted the role of, this time, rather than appearing on the silver screen, Lucille's show would be broadcast through radio. Lucille Ball decided that accepting a role as a radio personality was a great way to finally break free of her B-movie reputation. In radio, her looks no longer played a role in how the audience perceived her performance. In this medium, Lucy could showcase her talents without being held back by the beauty standards for women at the time. My Favorite Husband became an instant hit. Not only was the radio show well received, but each episode was filmed in front of a live studio audience, exposing Lucy to the world of live performance. Lucy came alive in front of an audience, and the audience was receptive to the way she was able to bring so much energy to her character. This was the first time that Lucy's talents were being showcased to their full extent, and CBS, the broadcast company producing the program, took notice. In the male-dominated industry culture of the time, Lucille Ball was already creating new pathways for women by speaking her mind in regards to creative control of her content. Initially, CBS was very reluctant to cast Ball's real-life husband, Desi Arnaz. As being Cuban-American, Arnaz looked nothing like the current stars of TV and movies. To cast Desi alongside Lucy was a gamble, but Ball held her ground in her wish to cast Desi in the role. Eventually, CBS gave in, and the show I Love Lucy debuted on October 15, 1951. The show was an instant success. Lucille Ball's formal training in comedy set her apart from other actors at the time, especially given that she was a beautiful woman. Prior to I Love Lucy, male actors of almost any physique were able to find success, so long as the audience found them entertaining. As women were known almost exclusively for their looks, they often fell into stereotypical, repetitive, one-dimensional roles in media, by not only being funnier than the men of her time, but by being attractive, confident, and unafraid to make a fool of herself. Lucille Ball began to break the mold that Hollywood placed on female actresses in the 1950s. Continuing to break boundaries and set new precedents left and right, I Love Lucy proved to be the first of its kind in a variety of ways, including the content addressed on the show. I Love Lucy is known for depicting one of the first on-screen pregnancies in television. At the time of its air, CBS deemed the word pregnant too inappropriate to air, as topics considered even slightly controversial were still kept quiet in the TV world. Though Lucille had to use not-so-subtle euphemisms such as "we're expecting," she was headstrong in her pursuit of depicting her pregnancy on screen, and ended up successfully doing so while maintaining a positive public image. The episode's viewership skyrocketed to an impressive 44 million people. This event effectively changed the course of what was considered to be appropriate television content. By showing her pregnancy on screen, Lucille Ball opened the door not only for other women in television, but for the women of America. Lucille changed the attitudes of American conversation, making female representation stronger both in the media and in reality. This is one of the many ways in which Lucille Ball was single-handedly able to alter television in a way that still impacts what we see on TV today. On the technical side of things, I Love Lucy was revolutionary in the way it was produced. Throughout the show's run, Lucille Ball and her husband were insistent upon retaining creative control of their show. As the show was broadcast by CBS, the company expected to simply employ the stars of the show while maintaining control over the show's content. From the beginning, Lucille Ball rejected this precedent set by other media companies at the time. She and her husband Desi created their own production company, Desilu, as a means of being able to take the creative direction of the show upon themselves. Desilu became the first independent production studio to make decisions for themselves, working with broadcasting companies rather than for them. Both Desi and Lucille each took pay cuts of $1,000 per episode in order to retain the rights for their show, leaving them with 100% ownership over their content. In exchange for these pay cuts, Lucille Ball wouldn't have to move away from Hollywood. At the time, most TV shows were shot in New York City, but Lucille wanted to work from her Hollywood home. She had higher expectations for the quality of her show and wanted to make sure she could be extremely hands-on in every aspect of its production. An exchange like this between star of a show and broadcast company was the first of its kind. As Lucille Ball wanted her show to be of extremely high quality, Desilu Productions chose to shoot the show on 35mm film instead of the standard kinescope. They also began to shoot their show from 3 separate angles, rather than the standard one angle, similar to the way movies are shot. Their company was one of the first to use the 3-angle setup for a sitcom, which in today's world is the industry standard. Not only was this revolutionary for viewers to experience the sitcom, but this was the origin of syndicated television. Syndication is when episodes of a TV show continue to air after their initial broadcast. Because Desilu Productions chose to use 35mm film, they owned hard copies of all of their episodes, as well as retaining the rights over them. This allowed them to be able to sell the series later on, creating what we know today as reruns. This altered the way the TV industry worked forever. Prior to Lucille Ball and Desilu Productions, a show would air once and that was it. Not only was Lucille Ball one of the first women to have a lead role in a production company, but she led the first production studio into working alongside with broadcast companies, maintaining creative control over its shows, and was responsible for creating today's industry standard of a 3-camera setup for a sitcom. Lucille Ball changed the course of television. She opened up conversations and maintained control over what she wanted to put out in the world. Lucille Ball made it possible for creatives around the world to come up with new ideas for TV shows, continuing to shape American conversations as well as the American TV and movie industries. The shows that you see on TV today, such as Everybody Loves Raymond, How I Met Your Mother, The Big Bang Theory, and other commonly known TV shows, wouldn't have been made possible without the strides made by Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball was truly one of a kind, and the mark she made on the industry has never been forgotten. Thanks to Lucille Ball, the TV industry has continued to grow and thrive, allowing for more individuals with even wilder ideas to enter the scene and make their own marks on the industry. We all owe a big thanks to Lucille Ball for providing us with the content that has shaped the way we see the world.